Coins, the 1971, 1973 and 1974 Kennedy half dollars. Often mistakenly called Washington half dollars, these coins actually belong to the iconic Kennedy series and represent a fascinating era in American coinage, a time when silver had been removed from circulation and the half dollar quietly transitioned from a common spending coin into a collectible treasure. Each of these years carries unique significance. The 1971 half dollar marks the first fully clad production after silver was eliminated, making high-grade survivors historically important. The 1973 half dollar from the Denver Mint is prized for its scarcity in very fine and higher condition, along with rare error varieties that can multiply its value, and the 1974 half dollar stands out for sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and a growing demand among collectors worldwide. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just beginning your coin collection, these coins are more than pieces of pocket change. They are historical artifacts that can command hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on condition, rarity, and mint errors. Today, we'll explore their unique features, collectible value, and why these Kennedy half dollars remain highly sought after in the modern coin market. The 1971 half dollar, often mistakenly called the Washington half dollar but officially known as the 1971 Kennedy half dollar, holds a truly historic and valuable position in American coinage, especially when found in very fine condition or higher. This coin marks a major turning point in U.S. monetary history, as 1971 was the first year the half dollar was struck entirely without silver for general circulation, transitioning fully to a copper-nickel clad composition after rising silver prices forced the mint to abandon precious metals. Despite lacking silver, the historical significance of this transition alone makes the 1971 half dollar one of the most important modern-era U.S. coins. Featuring the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse, symbolizing national unity after his assassination, and the presidential seal on the reverse, the coin carries strong emotional, cultural, and historical value that continues to attract collectors worldwide. In very fine condition, key details such as Kennedy's hair strands, cheek contours, and the eagle's feathers remain sharp and visible, greatly increasing collector desirability compared to worn examples. What elevates the 1971 half dollar into the high market value category are its rare mint errors, strike anomalies, and exceptional high-grade survivors, including double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, and proof-like circulation examples, some of which have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars at auctions when authenticated and graded by professional services. Coins from this year were heavily bag-marked during mint handling, making clean, well-struck examples far scarcer than mint numbers suggest, especially in grades Mississippi 65 and above. Historically, the 1971 half dollar represents the moment when the half dollar quietly disappeared from everyday American commerce, as the public began hoarding them out of habit and nostalgia, unknowingly creating future scarcity in top condition. Today, the collector market strongly rewards originality, luster, and condition, and certified 1971 half dollars, particularly rare varieties and error coins, continue to rise in value, proving that even clad-era coins can become highly valuable historical assets when rarity, demand, and preservation align. The deeper historical importance of the 1971 half dollar becomes even more powerful when we look at how collectors and the U.S. Mint itself viewed this coin in the years that followed. After 1971, the half dollar was no longer seen as a practical spending coin but as a symbolic reminder of America's shift away from precious metal currency, making this issue a milestone in the evolution of U.S. money. During the early 1970s, economic pressure, inflation, and rising metal prices forced the mint to prioritize efficiency over artistry, which resulted in inconsistent strike quality, weak details, and heavy contact marks on many 1971 half dollars. This is exactly why sharply struck, very fine to mint state examples with original luster are now considered scarce and increasingly valuable. Collectors later discovered that certain 1971 issues, particularly those with strong hair detail, clean fields, and balanced strike pressure, stood out dramatically against the majority of poorly preserved examples, elevating their status in the market. Additionally, the growing popularity of third-party grading in later decades transformed how the 1971 half-dollar was valued, as professionally certified coins began setting record prices at auctions, especially for rare varieties and high-grade survivors. International demand further strengthened its market presence, driven by global recognition of President Kennedy and the historical importance of America's departure from silver coinage. Over time, this once overlooked clad half-dollar evolved into a respected collectible, with premium examples commanding hundreds, and in rare cases, thousands, of dollars, reinforcing its position as one of the most historically significant and potentially valuable coins of the modern U.S. half-dollar series. When discussing important information about the 1971 half-dollar, one of the first things collectors look at is the mint mark and overall strike quality, because these details strongly influence value. The 1971 half-dollar was produced at both the Philadelphia Mint, which carries no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, identified by a D mint mark on the obverse, just below Kennedy's neck. While millions were minted, most examples suffered from weak strikes, dull surfaces, and heavy contact marks due to high-speed production and bulk storage, making visually attractive coins far scarcer than mintage numbers suggest. In very fine condition, collectors carefully examine the sharpness of Kennedy's hair above the ear, the clarity of the lettering in Liberty, and the feather definition on the eagle's wings on the reverse. Coins that retain original luster, clean fields, and balanced detail are considered premium examples and often command strong prices. Additional value comes from error coins, such as double die obverses, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, and clipped planchettes, which are highly sought after and can dramatically increase market value when authenticated. Proof versions struck in San Francisco for collectors are also important, especially when found with deep mirror surfaces and no haze or spotting. As collector knowledge continues to grow, the 1971 half-dollar is increasingly recognized not just as a common clad coin, but as a historically significant issue where condition, originality, and rarity separate ordinary pieces from those worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's competitive coin market. When it comes to long-term market performance, the 1971 half-dollar has quietly proven itself as a strong and reliable modern collectible, especially as interest in condition-based rarity continues to grow among new and experienced collectors alike. Over the years, auction records have shown that while average circulated examples remain affordable, coins in very fine-to-mint state condition with exceptional eye appeal have experienced consistent price appreciation. This is largely because many 1971 half-dollars were stored improperly in bank bags, leading to nicks, scratches, and dull surfaces, which dramatically reduced the number of high-quality survivors available today. Certified examples graded by professional services have helped establish transparent market benchmarks, and rare error coins from this year have generated intense bidding competition, sometimes reaching prices in the hundreds and even thousands of dollars. As more collectors focus on completing high-grade Kennedy half-dollar sets, demand for premium 1971 issues continues to rise, fueled by nostalgia, historical importance, and the growing global interest in American coinage. Additionally, the limited supply of untouched, original coins means that each year fewer top-quality examples remain available on the open market, reinforcing scarcity and driving long-term value growth. All of these factors combined position the 1971 half-dollar as more than just a piece of pocket change. It stands as a modern numismatic asset whose historical significance and collector demand continue to strengthen its place in U.S. coin history. The 1973 half-dollar with the D mint mark, often mistakenly called the Washington half-dollar but officially known as the 1973 D Kennedy half-dollar, is a fascinating and undervalued piece of American coin history that has gained serious attention in the collector market, especially in very fine condition. Struck at the Denver Mint during a time when half dollars were rapidly disappearing from everyday circulation, this coin represents an important chapter in U.S. monetary history, when rising inflation, changing spending habits, and the public's tendency to hoard large denomination coins quietly transformed the half dollar into a collector-focused issue. Made from a copper-nickel clad composition, the 1973 D half dollar may not contain silver, but its value lies in historical significance, condition rarity, and unique mint characteristics rather than metal content. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President John F. Kennedy, a symbol of national legacy and unity, while the reverse displays the presidential seal, and in very fine condition, important details such as Kennedy's hair strands, facial contours, and the eagle's feather definition remain clearly visible, dramatically increasing collector appeal. What truly elevates the 1973 D half dollar into the big market value category are its scarcity in clean condition, weak strike tendencies at the Denver Mint, and rare mint errors, including double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchettes, and unusually sharp proof-like circulation examples. Because many 1973 D coins suffered heavy bag marks and dull surfaces during mass production and storage, well-preserved examples stand out sharply and are aggressively sought by collectors building high-grade Kennedy half-dollar sets. Over time, professionally graded specimens and authenticated error coins from this year have achieved auction prices ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, proving that modern-era half-dollars can command premium value when rarity, preservation, and demand align. Historically, the 1973 D half-dollar marks a period when the half-dollar was no longer a common spending coin but a quiet survivor of America's evolving currency system. And today its growing recognition as a condition-sensitive collectible continues to push market interest higher, making it one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable Kennedy half-dollars of the early 1970s. The deeper story of the 1973 D half-dollar becomes even more compelling when we examine the conditions under which it was produced and how those conditions shaped its present-day rarity. During the early 1970s, the Denver Mint focused heavily on output speed rather than strike precision, resulting in many 1973 D half-dollars displaying soft details, muted luster, and heavy contact marks from bulk storage in mint bags. Because of this, coins that survived in very fine condition with balanced strike quality and clean surfaces are far scarcer than the original mintage numbers suggest. Collectors today pay close attention to specific areas such as the sharpness of Kennedy's hair above the ear, the clarity of the word, liberty, and the strength of the eagle's feathers on the reverse, as these details separate ordinary examples from premium ones. Historically, this period also reflects a shift in public behavior, as half-dollars were increasingly set aside rather than spent, meaning many coins were saved, but not carefully preserved, leading to widespread surface damage over time. As third-party grading became more popular, certified 1973 D half-dollars began establishing strong auction results, especially for coins with exceptional eye appeal or verified mint errors. This growing recognition has elevated the 1973 D issue from an overlooked clad coin into a respected modern collectible, with top examples continuing to achieve prices in the hundreds and, in rare cases, thousands of dollars, reinforcing its significance in U.S. coin history. Another crucial reason the 1973 D half-dollar has become increasingly desirable lies in the discovery and documentation of rare mint errors and subtle varieties, which have transformed certain examples into true collector prizes. Over the years, numismatists have identified 1973 D half-dollars with double die details, misaligned dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchettes, errors that occurred during high-speed production at the Denver Mint and were largely unnoticed at the time of release. These mistakes, once considered defects, are now viewed as historical fingerprints of the minting process, and when found in very fine or higher condition, they can multiply a coin's value dramatically. Collectors also prize unusually sharp strikes from this year, especially those with strong luster and minimal contact marks, because they contrast so sharply with the majority of softly struck examples. As grading standards tightened and collector education improved, demand shifted away from average coins toward standout pieces with visual appeal, originality, and certification. Auction results have repeatedly shown that error coins and top-quality 1973D half dollars can command prices ranging from several $100s to well over $1,000, proving that rarity within a common year is what truly drives market value. This combination of historical context, minting challenges, and condition-based scarcity has firmly secured the 1973D half dollar's place as one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable modern issues in the Kennedy half dollar series. When it comes to market value, the 1973D half dollar in very fine condition has proven to be more than just a collectible. It's a modern numismatic investment that continues to grow in desirability. While most circulated coins from this year remain affordable, those with strong details, clean fields, and minimal bag marks are increasingly scarce, which drives up demand among both new collectors and seasoned investors. Certified examples graded by professional services have helped establish clear price benchmarks, and coins exhibiting rare mint errors or exceptional strike quality often sell for hundreds to thousands of dollars at auctions worldwide. This trend reflects a broader shift in the coin market, where condition, rarity, and historical significance outweigh simple mintage numbers or metal content, especially for clad-era coins like the 1973D half dollar. Over time, the scarcity of high-quality examples, combined with Kennedy's enduring popularity and the historical significance of this transitional era in U.S. coinage, has reinforced the coin's value, making it a must-watch item for anyone building a high-grade Kennedy half-dollar collection. For collectors, this means the 1973D half dollar is not only a tangible piece of American history but also a smart addition for those seeking coins with both historical weight and long-term market potential. The 1974 half dollar, often mistakenly called the Washington half dollar but officially known as the 1974 Kennedy half dollar, is an extraordinary coin that occupies a unique place in U.S. numismatic history, especially in very fine condition where its details, sharpness, and eye appeal set it apart from the millions of ordinary circulated coins, struck during a transitional period when the United States had fully abandoned silver in half dollars. The 1974 issue was produced in a copper-nickel clad composition and primarily intended for circulation, yet public habits quickly turned it into a collectible as many coins were saved rather than spent, creating a natural scarcity of well-preserved examples decades later, and this scarcity, combined with the historical significance of Kennedy's iconic portrait on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse, gives this coin a strong collector appeal and market demand. Very fine 1974 half dollars retain visible hair details, facial contours, and eagle feathers, which dramatically increases desirability compared to worn examples, and coins exhibiting rare mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or clipped planchettes can see their value soar, especially when professionally authenticated and graded, because many 1974 coins suffered from heavy bag marks, dull surfaces, and weak strikes during mass production. High-quality survivors in very fine condition or better are increasingly difficult to find, driving auction prices from hundreds to even thousands of dollars for exceptional examples, and certified top-grade specimens continue to set strong market benchmarks, reinforcing the coin's status as a historically significant, investment-worthy, and highly collectible modern half-dollar, whether for completing a Kennedy half-dollar set, exploring modern coin history, or securing a tangible piece of U.S. monetary heritage. The 1974 half dollar in very fine condition represents a perfect combination of condition-based rarity, historical importance, and long-term market value, making it one of the most valuable and sought-after issues in the Kennedy half-dollar series. The history of the 1974 half-dollar is closely tied to a pivotal era in U.S. coinage, a time when the nation had fully shifted away from silver in circulating coins and the half-dollar was slowly losing its role in everyday commerce, making well-preserved examples increasingly rare over time. Struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with Philadelphia coins carrying no mint mark and Denver coins marked with A, D, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar was produced in massive quantities. Yet the majority of coins quickly entered circulation or were stored carelessly, resulting in widespread surface wear, bag marks, and dulling that make high-grade survivors highly sought after today. This period followed the excitement of the bicentennial coin program of 1975–1976, which had renewed public interest in American coinage, but by 1974, the half-dollar was largely ignored by the general public, quietly disappearing from pockets and cash registers and often ending up in coin rolls or collections, unintentionally preserving its scarcity and quality condition. Numismatists later discovered that despite the high mintage, very fine and uncirculated examples from 1974 are surprisingly scarce, especially those with sharp strikes, strong luster, and minimal contact marks, elevating their historical and market significance. Over time, collectors came to value this coin not just for its design and Kennedy's iconic image, but for what it represents, a transitional moment in U.S. coin history where the half-dollar became more of a collectible than a circulating coin, cementing the 1974 issue's place as both a historically important and highly desirable modern-era collectible. One of the key factors that makes the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar in very fine condition so valuable is the presence of rare mint errors and subtle varieties that collectors actively seek, turning ordinary coins into high-demand treasures. During mass production at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, some coins were struck with double dies, off-center designs, clipped planchettes, or misaligned dies, all of which are considered mistakes today but are highly prized by numismatists because they showcase the minting process and the coin's unique history. Even among normally struck coins, those with exceptional strike quality, strong luster, and minimal bag marks stand out sharply from the majority of circulated examples, creating scarcity that drives market value. Over the years, certified coins displaying these rare features or superior preservation have consistently commanded prices ranging from hundreds to even thousands of dollars, depending on rarity, eye appeal, and professional grading. For collectors, spotting these varieties often involves careful examination of Kennedy's hair, cheek contours, and the eagle's feathers, as well as checking for any anomalies in lettering or alignment. These unique characteristics make the 1974 half-dollar more than just a common copper-nickel coin. They transform it into a collectible where historical significance, condition, and rarity intersect, ensuring its place as a highly sought-after piece in the Kennedy half-dollar series and a strong candidate for long-term investment. When it comes to market trends, the 1974 Kennedy half-dollar in very fine condition has steadily grown in value over the decades, reflecting both collector demand and the scarcity of high-quality examples. While millions of coins were minted, most circulated heavily or were stored without care, leaving relatively few examples with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal contact marks. As a result, collectors and investors today are willing to pay hundreds to even thousands of dollars for well-preserved coins, especially those certified by professional grading services. Rare varieties, including double dies, off-center strikes, and proof-like circulation examples, command even higher premiums, and auction houses have recorded significant sales where these coins fetched remarkable prices due to their combination of condition, rarity, and historical importance. Long-term trends indicate that modern Kennedy half-dollars like the 1974 issue are increasingly recognized as both collectible artifacts and investment-grade coins, as demand continues to grow among domestic and international collectors. For anyone looking to build a high-grade Kennedy half-dollar set, The 1974 very fine coin represents a perfect blend of history, scarcity, and potential financial value, proving that even clad-era coins, once considered common, can become highly prized in today's competitive numismatic market.